Hey, what's happening? I'm Jason Newsted. You're watching Loudwire.
Hey everyone, Graham from Loudwire here. This is Jason Newsted, and this is his RAWK exhibit with his very own paintings here in New York City. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it so much.
So I left Metallica in 2001, and I did, Voivod Records and Echo Brain, and took it around the world a couple times, whatever, around the country, whatever we did. We did some shows, and played with Ozzy and did all that stuff, right? And then about 2004, end of 2004, started having shoulder surgeries.
Right.
So I had one here, over here, and back to here again, over 3 or 4 year period. And so I, immobilized, hand to hand, painkiller addiction, all this different kind of crazy shit. But as time went on, I had to, out of necessity, first of all, learn to use both hands the same power. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so once I was back healed, 2006, 2007, I used both hands for everything, especially the artwork that I did. So every piece that you see, anytime you see any of my work, from that time on, all the text is done with my left hand and all the painting is done with my right.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything is done with both hands on both sides of my head. So on these guys, these are done 2 hands at the same time, all the time.
Wow.
So in this particular one, this is Jim Croce, back in the day from Time in the Bottle, because never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. And this says that over and over 200 or 300 times. Both hands, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, back, and one color in each hand like this. When those colors are done, I spin it 1/4, and I do 2 more colors in the same sentence again. Spin, 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 quarter, 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 16 times, 32 colors. This one I might have done in 1 day.
Only a day?
It just depended on what was happening. If I had the right music on, the right herb was happening, and everything else was going on, then I could power through it.
So for this one, what words were you thinking about?
This is actually a poem of my own, but I'm not going to tell. I'm only going to tell the person that buys this what the poem is inside this one. My beasts and my creatures only exist in my pictures. It's not something that I copy, like here's a scan of a Banksy thing, and here's a scan of Professor or whoever, Inspector Gadget or something. We already know what the image is. We already can identify it. None of these exist anywhere else. They only exist. And I'm not the only artist that does that, but I just know that's my shit. Lars collected for so long and he was exposed to a lot of great things in a very young age, and his dad traveled around the world being a tennis guy and all that stuff. So Lars was exposed to a lot of music and art and all those things. So he had a good collection early on in his life. I go over to his house, and for the first time, I was exposed to Art Brut, outsider art. And he would have had all these framed pictures up around the pool table. I'm like, this your nephew painted some pictures or something like that? And he goes, no, these are from mental patients and mental institutions and grown people, and this is all their art. It's called Art Brut, outsider art. And I'm like, wow. I'm all fascinated. We go upstairs, and there's this giant Basquiat hanging over the stove. And I hadn't really seen anything like that before. I'm like, what is that? And he starts explaining to me what's going on. So my mind kind of opened up, and that was my first exposure to it. I could relate it so close to my own world because of Lars' touch with it, and how he had showed me that's where it came from. And so I took that and it made me want to like it more. It wanted me to want to kind of like be in his club with him, to know what he knew about that stuff. That made me feel good. So and still now he's very supportive of this stuff for me.
Great.
Very.
This one I feel like is a bit more angry than this one is.
So I watched a documentary of people that raise dogs to fight each other and kill each other for money, and that don't fly with me. I'm really angry. And I was raised with animals. I was raised on a farm like we were talking about, and I had hundreds of animals in my life, and that's kind of where it's at for me. So when I saw that film, I was really affected. I did this all in one night. I stayed up all night in Silver Lake.
One night?
Yep. I got really pissed, and I took notes as I was watching the film. And you'll see it if you fuck you fucking punk ass pig fuckers. All right, I'm like a little bit upset, and this is what I really thought of these guys at the time. And if you take your time and read through things, you'll see the things that, trying to train this wonderful animal to fight against his brothers, go against his pack. That's just not right, man.
Demon Cleaner.
Demon Cleaner. Caius. Demon Cleaner.
Yeah. So tell me about this one.
This was done in Florida. This one I think has a lot to do with fucking, from what I can tell. If you check the swell region.
I was wondering what this was.
And this right here type of thing. That's what I can get out of it after I look at the shapes and how they bend to each other and stuff. So I think that's kind of maybe what it's all about.
So these, I would think, if you were to show this to a psychiatrist, they may have some questions. So these are like real explosive personalities, disturbing,
Yes.
schizophrenic almost, I would say.
I made a band. There's 6 guys in the band. They're not Slipknot, but they like Slipknot a lot. And so I got the other ones in the closet over there.
Oh.
These are the 2 that we chose. There's some cats from like around, guys that know what they're doing. They're the Dean of RISD and different stuff like that they chose these ones to hang. Like, these are the ones you should put up, Jason.
Okay.
Like, cool. So obviously that's the singer, right?
Sure.
Okay. Screamer, that one's called.
Oh, okay.
That's the singer, right? This guy, even though it's general disarray, he likes the uniform type of vibe. If he makes it feel like he likes to feel like he's at war when he's playing, when he's rocking. Okay. So and that's actually, I'm going to give credit to that phrase to Buckethead. We were playing with Buckethead with Mike Borden. We were working on an Ozzy thing once, and Buckethead came in with his army jacket on, and he's sweating in rehearsal, you know. And I'm like, bro, you take your jacket off, man. He's like, I like to feel like I'm at war. I'm like, dude, you're okay with me. You're okay with me from now on. Anyway, so that's I think that this guy likes to feel like he's at war. So we'll give him, I think that's probably a guitar player. We'll give that credit. We'll go Buckethead with that guy.
Sure.
I call it fractured work. I work a lot with masking tape. You see on some of these pictures still have, and like on the edge of the blue one over there, and some of the other ones I'll show you, I use a lot of masking tape and bring off masking tape or leave the masking tape on, depending, or rearrange it. And a lot of times I like to do, use the masking tape and then take it off very carefully and use it over and over as many times as I can on the canvas.
You can see that.
Yes,
right
so the
about
fracture,
there.
right?
Yeah.
So in all these pieces right here, you see all those bits,
Yeah.
all the white lines and all the fracture? That's
Sure.
so I set it up first and I build a little face with the tape. And then I do the picture, and then I fracture it and put the tape back in different places so there's faces inside of faces.
Oh wow! So it is actually schizophrenic.
Yeah,
then.
for sure. So anyway, that's where we kind of got on the Corey Taylor trip and the Slipknot trip.
I could see a
that
little
it's 6
Corey
guys
energy
and
there,
they're
yeah.
all crazy fractured and their faces are weird
And they go to war.
and they go to war. So that's a self-portrait at age 52.
That's you.
That's me.
Wow.
So you'll see the other band members here as you kind of. This is obviously the bass player. Excuse me.
This is very Slipknot.
Yeah. So this second guy right here from the left is called the Gimp. Okay. And you can see his clear fracture, like around the outside of him there. See, there's how his nose fractured and his eyebrows fractured and everything. You still actually see the blue of the tape.
You can see the tape for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's still on there.
This guy's Happy Camper. Yeah, and this is Malden. You remember Carl Malden? He was an actor. He used to be in the streets of San Francisco with Michael Douglas, and I watched that a lot when I was a kid. So once that nose showed up on that picture, I decided it was called Malden. Now, I think Malden, possibly the drummer. This is kind of what brings us together here, this very one. The gallery that's carrying this stuff is called Gary Lichtenstein Editions. And this cat, Gary, you've been walking around, you might have seen him. He's been at it for past 35 years with silk screening. He's like one of these cats up here. For the other silk screeners and stuff, they look up to him because he still does it old school with his press from the 70s. Gary chose that guy and this guy to redo, and he did his magic. He did his magic on this. So this is our true collaboration.
Wow.
That he took that picture and he cut his screens and did his screens the way that he always does, old school, and then made that thing. And then I went up for the first couple of days as we're working with it, and we decided on like the graphite slab underneath and the metal on the microphone, those different things, and the belt buckle. And then he completely took it from there. So you can see as that little guy over there births into this wonderful bright beast. And the whole idea was to make a poster size piece edition, 12 copies for my first show.
Yeah.
So that whoever gets one of those is playing it smart.
Is this someone that you know?
It's me.
That is you.
Yeah, it is me.
So it is the self-portrait.
That's one of them, but I don't really call it that. I'm just saying that now. Why I did this was because when I saw this just came random with the lightning in the eyes, and that's why it's named Lightning that way. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me, because at the time, if you think about when I was 24, is when I started Ride the Light. I really started. That was when I joined the band officially. I was 24 years old. So in that way, that's why it came through to me like that. I felt that way. I wore this necklace like this, and I had lightning in my eyes, and so that's kind of the way it was. And now what's come to pass, now that the reason, where the money for all this is going, for the foundation, the Perry J. Cohen Foundation, the boys that were lost at sea, it's a heavy story, And to me, I didn't realize it when I was doing it, really, I don't think, but the seaweed hair that's grown and stuff like that in the blue ocean, I feel that somehow I could be tied to Perry with this, but I didn't really know I was doing it at the time. I'm getting covered with bumps right now. But that's what I feel, is that somehow we have that together.
Wow.
And he went missing on the 24th.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm kind of, there's something there that otherworldly or something that I pay attention to, but did not plan.
Jason, man, thanks so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for showing us some of your art today. Where can people check these out and maybe even buy one if they want?
Okay, so like we said before, the representative gallery is now Gary Lichtenstein Editions, and it's GLE at mana.com, MANA.com, and that's out in New Jersey, the big art building out in New Jersey called Mana, and that's where we did these pictures, and that's where they continue to work, and so they're handling all that.
Jason, appreciate it
Cheers,
so
thank
much,
you, man. Thank you. Right on, people.